So. Tell you what, I'll be right back. Just gonna. Alright. Okay. Let's take a look. Take a look. think I missed it. Damn. Damn it, Michael. You're too slow. I was hoping I'd see the green flash when the sun goes down at the horizon. Some say they see a flash of green at that moment. Alright, so a lot of people have been searching for this Easter egg, and a lot of times people would find these certain clues in the game that have to do with the Knights of the Round Table, like Camelot, and I mean we've all dismissed it as just, you know, oh, the developers like the story of Camelot or King Arthur, the Holy Grail, but how does this game have anything to do with that? Like, you'll see a street here in Paleto Bay, not sure which one it is, but we look around and we're like, okay, where's what I'm talking about here? Well, we'll see on the down here, Deleuze Avenue. We'll go searching around in the city. We'll see like Lancelot or Pyrite, you know, the names of the streets. Strawberry is a real big one. I think there's a city in the story of Lancelot. There's a place called Strawberry, if I'm not mistaken. And then we'll find like little things like radio broadcasts talking about Excalibur, as if it's like a ride at an amusement park or something. Recently I've seen this Guy Ritchie film of King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword, and while watching this movie, I saw a huge similarity in how the storyline is in GTA. There's so many things that I've been talking about recently. Like I don't remember what all I had brought up, but there was things like colors, like the Vikings in the movie, their color was yellow because the guy's robe was just straight yellow, the whole entire thing. When King Arthur's holding the sword Excalibur and it starts glowing, it's glowing epsilon blue. And we see blue like all over this game, from the weapon wheel, the clothes, a lot of vehicles, a lot of places. There's just so much blue and yellow, which stands for gold, and then red. The red and the yellow stand for certain things. Game on. He's the only mystery hunter I've ever come across who came up with an explanation for the colors of yellow, red, and epsilon blue. And when watching that movie, I saw red, yellow, and blue stand out. Throughout most of the movie, everything's black and white pretty much. It's gray. Everything's, dark and there's very little color. But when there is color, it's red, yellow, and blue. The epsilon blue. And I thought, why are these colors so vibrant? These are the only colors that are vibrant in anybody's clothing or in the decor throughout the castle. The only colors that you see are red, yellow, and blue. And very seldom do you see purple. But that's because of it's the color royalty can have, because it was so very hard for the color purple to be produced. Okay, so these colors really stand out. They're major similarities in the game, as well as in the movie of King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword. Another thing that pops out in that movie when I watched it is how King Arthur can slow down time, and when he attacks his enemies, it's an explosion with a sword. He creates an explosion on his enemies, just like this railgun. Now, if you're ever playing the game and you're trying to get your stats up so you can have like super crazy awesome powers, like having your stats maxed out all the way, you should go over here to this this factory. Okay, come over here, find this hidden room, this secret cave where you can get your stats maxed up. Well, at least a couple of the stats. You can come over here. You can go in this room, or you can go down here in this room here. I prefer to go to this one, because this one only has 2 windows, front and the back. You can cover the back window with a sticky bomb right here. Right, so when anybody tries to come in that window, they're going to be met with some pretty horrible demise. Now you don't plan on like actually staying here until they quit, but I have been able to get the entire 5 stars to go away after an incredibly long time of attacking police officers here. Instead of hiding, when you're sitting here and they're unable to get to you for X amount of minutes, they eventually just quit. The police just go away. Let's see if we can create an explosion. I'm out of throwables. That's great. It's fantastic. I didn't want that, but we're just gonna have to get the police on us the old-fashioned way.
Citizens report 417 west of the Cluckenbelt factory.
Let's try a different weapon here. Oh, that's all I have? Wow, I'm glad there's a ammunition nearby. So, the reason why I believe that King Arthur is Michael is that, well, when Trevor flies that airplane and crashes it into the lake, the only person who can get the railgun out of the bottom of the lake is Michael, because he gets the sonar dock, which, by the way, is sold to you by that lady of the lake. It gives you instructions on how to get, well, not how to get Excalibur, but gives you instructions on things to do, and then you eventually get the sonar dock with the dinghy, where you can use that scuba gear that comes with the dinghy to go to the bottom of the lake and fetch the railgun.
West of the Cluckenbelt factory.
Now, Trevor has been trying to get his enterprise up, just like the wicked uncle who seeks power through obtaining Excalibur. Now, Trevor goes down, or attempts to retrieve the railgun from the airplane in mid-flight, but something goes wrong. The airplane goes down and crashes into the lake. Now, during the story of King Arthur, there is a plan to sink the boats that are carrying supplies that the king needs to build his tower. And then eventually when you do sink it, Trevor flips out because he can't sell whatever it is that he just got done selling to the Chinese, and that's the same as the king throwing a fit because his supplies to build his tower are now sunk into the river. And then Michael, who's King Arthur, prevents him from having too much power. And we know that Trevor is known as Uncle T to the kids of Michael, which reveals that is the uncle, the king who stole who stole the throne from his brother, Michael's dad, which we don't actually see, but the connection's there. If not, then Michael is King Arthur's dad, and Arthur is actually Jimmy, which doesn't make sense. Because Michael gets to do all the stuff that King Arthur does. But that also shows that there's duality, like multiple characters combined into one GTA character. So there's another mission where you gotta snipe from across the street. You gotta find who the person is that needs to get sniped, and Michael's like not really trying to do that, and he's not trying to kill somebody, but Trevor, being crazy, wants this job done, and he's getting his information from torturing this guy. Well, I believe there's a mission, or a part in the story where the king is torturing somebody to get information out of him, and I think there's a certain way that he tortures them, not with all the devices that are used to choose from. So that's why we get the choice to torture the guy with those separate things. I think he only uses water torture or smashing him with a wrench or something. Beating him, not with a wrench, but with a mallet or something. Some blunt object. Yeah, I gotta watch that movie a few times and really understand exactly what each scene is representing. But that's what I'm saying. We really should go down to the library, open up a book of King Arthur and start reading and try to find the oldest original copy of the stories, or just like a collection of the stories, maybe. Just read them all and understand which scene in Grand Theft Auto is a scene from the stories. So if you're interested in cracking open this Easter egg and seeing what's inside, we really gotta open up our minds and see what the game really is. So yeah, like if you can't grasp this and say, hey man, you might be onto something, let's check it out, and instead you're like, well, let me see the proof. Well, I'm sorry man, I just came up with this, and I want to spread it to other people, quickly. The reason why I came up with this was because of all the evidence that everyone else has put together and found and revealed, and I'm mixing it, with my eyes, and in seeing what I see from all the knowledge that I have in this mystery, and I'm seeing what Rockstar's capable of. They're capable of saying, hey, Guy Ritchie, here's an idea for a movie. And then Guy Ritchie's like, hey, alright, I'll give it a shot. And they're like, hey, put this in there, put that in there. You know, there's so many similarities between that movie and this game and the story of King Arthur that it's feasible, man. This game was probably put together with the story following King Arthur, but we are the ones who need to choose. We are the ones who hold the key. It's right here. This controller. We need to control what goes on in order to reveal the mystery. We need to pick and choose the adventure. We need to put it all together and you know, it didn't just take me to find it. It took all of you, all you mystery hunters out there, with all your videos about every little thing that you find. Some of it's Jesus toast, some of it's right on the money, you know, some of it's just, you know, an added bonus to the game. I mean, finding the sword in the stone, not so much one stone, but metaphorically a stone. When the airplane crashes, I believe Trevor says it sank like a rock or sank like a stone, and that's where the railgun is found, is inside that airplane that fell into the ocean, or into the lake. It's not the ocean. And within the movie, I also saw a scene where water receded to expose that lake, or that sword in the stone, but I don't think that was what happened in the story. I think in this story, this version of King Arthur, the evidence of the great deluge, or the water receding, was on the ocean, where it shows all the underwater vehicles that are underground, under the ocean. All that stuff that you can find it just shows that there was giant flood. And I think there was also newspaper clippings found in the game of a great flood. So that's another similarity I found within that movie, and that Guy Ritchie was probably commissioned to do, because it's not anything like Guy Ritchie's other films. It doesn't fit. Like, most of his films are, you know, in London with or in New York during modern times with, you know, drugs involved and action and gangs and, you know, really terrible things going on, or hilarious things going on. But for him to make a movie about King Arthur, just doesn't fit his style. It's totally different. Why would he do it unless he was, you know, bribed to do it or coaxed to do it by Rockstar? Like, hey man, do us a favor. Make this movie. Make it this way. Make it like that. That way, people who are watching this movie, who also play GTA 5, would see the similarities and get an idea. Hey, maybe we're doing this all wrong. Maybe we're supposed to play the story mode a certain way to unlock the ability for this grand Easter egg to be unlocked. I mean, how many clues have they given us in the Diamond Casino update, or yeah, DLC, with all the updates and all the paintings and pictures pointing us to this and to that. I mean, it's like, hey guys, come on. What more do you need? You need Sam Hauser to sit you on his knee and read you a bedtime story? Is that what has to happen next? Pretty much printed a guide showing you what happens when you make this choice, what happens when you make that choice. So yeah, we've got so many similarities between King Arthur and GTA 5. We just need to know the story of King Arthur. And it's kind of hard though, because if you go out to the library and you look up King Arthur, you're gonna find hundreds of books of the story, all with different variations. So we have to select the correct story. Who came up with it first? Who's got the best version of it? Certainly not Disney. Don't look up Disney and the Sword in the Stone, because you're gonna be really disappointed. It's not that easy. Come on, do some adult reading here. You're dealing with the likes of people who started in computer gaming at an early time when everything was done with binary. You know, they had to learn cryptology to get this type of gaming experience. Cryptology. Encrypted messages, like Morse code. Morse code is one of the simplest of codes to learn. Okay? Binary is easy, and I've had, said many times, check out the windows in San Andreas and tell me that some of those windows don't look like a binary code message. Look at the windows on the Maze Bank. Doesn't that look like a binary code? I mean, binary is real simple. You have you can take the standard 8 spaces, and each with either an on or an off. So the window can be on, the light inside the room where that window is could be on, or it could be off, giving you the value of 1 or 0. So if you know how to put together binary, you can decide what these windows are totaling up to, and then come up with a numeric value to decide on whether it's help me out here. The numeric value determines the character of which to decode it as. You'll have to do more research in binary. Read a couple books on binary while you're at the library. And then also there's different vehicle names in the online websites for purchasing vehicles, like the Wagner. The Wagner sounds close to the Vigner. Vigner is a code. It's a certain type of code. It's really complex though. But yeah, the Wagner is one of the fastest cars in the game. In online, it's not available here. Let's see here. Legendary Motorsports happens to be right there. Okay, so yeah, ill-gotten gains. So I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's here. It's not. It's only on online. Okay, so. Credit card consolidation kings. Notice the blue and the gold, yellow, blue, and white with red. Why owe money to multiple credit banking institutions when you can owe it all to an anonymous shill you found on the internet instead? Consolidate your debt today. Then go out and treat yourself to something nice. What happens if we sign up now? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to fill that out. Cash for dead dreams. Gold. Okay, the altruists here. Everything's in Morse code. Except for spaces. I read this in somebody else's post. There's this / they use for a space between letters, except for this very first section here. They don't use those / here in this. Maybe that's a hint. Or maybe it's just a whole lot harder to decode with all these dots in the background that they have. So yeah, we've already deciphered this. We've got some cool people who went ahead and looked into it at the Altruists website. Check out the Sonora Beacon. So I feel Ursula, who lives here at the lighthouse, Ursula lives here. There's a lighthouse. The lighthouse has a tower with a light at the top. And there should be a bell somewhere in this area to ring. Oh wait, we can just call Ursula on the phone. Maybe if we call Ursula while standing here, we can get her to talk. But only Trevor, who would be Mordred, or the evil king that stole the crown to Camelot. He's the only one who deals with the witch, or the sea witch, who would be Ursula. Ursula would be the sea witch. And I think she demands the sacrifice. She's the one who Mordred, or the evil king, is trying to obtain power from. Apparently he's got to eliminate members of the family. A sacrifice is needed to be made. Or maybe it's Amanda. So yeah, there's so many similarities between this game and the story of King Arthur. I'm gonna go watch the rest. I'm gonna go watch that movie a few more times. See if I can catch any details, any more details that can be used in the story mode. And then I'll be able to find out for sure, if possible, if when we return to wow, that was pretty close. I almost did it. If we return to Chiliad with after completing the story in the manner of how it's told in the King Arthur story, going to Mount Chiliad would start, after you've completed everything in that way, going to the top of Mount Chiliad, where it says when your story is complete, will more than likely activate the next mission, which would be the quest for the Holy Grail. So when you've gotten all that story completed in the manner of King Arthur and the legend of the sword, when he obtains Excalibur and then he offs the antagonist, Trevor. Once Trevor's dead and you've completed that part of the story, then you go up and start the next story, the quest for the Holy Grail, in which you'll be going all across the map from location to location to do things. There's probably hidden missions inside the game to complete, or it might just give us, waypoints to go to, and we'll see, new things to do, which would be incredible. I think, in my eyes, going on a quest for the Holy Grail, that would be awesome shit. It'd be like a modern day version of King Arthur and the Quest for the Holy Grail. But first, we have to complete the story in the right manner in order to get that. That would be the ultimate Easter egg, requiring the story to be completed in a certain manner. So, yeah, with all these clues pointing us to do things, here's a tower right here, might have something to do with it, but I don't know. We gotta find out. We gotta see. Yeah, maybe I should go here and drop. How do you drop it? How do you drop weapons? Pretty sure you have to hover on it and then press like triangle. It's not doing anything. What if we go out here? Okay, stand still. Why is it not letting me do it? Maybe it'll just let me do it with... This is so weird. The other day I was able to drop weapons. Where was I? I was standing on a rock, dropping melee weapons, thinking like this one would be a sword, and then it dawned on me, this is the sword. Where the hell was I? I believe I was standing on a rock near the ocean. I was just dropping weapons. I'm unable to do it right here. Give me your motorcycle, motherfucker. Yeah, I need this.
Get away from me, welfare trash.
Get away from me, old man. Okay. We're gonna go find out where we can drop weapons, because that's important. I wasn't able to drop weapons over there, so I gotta know what the fuck was that. Trevor? You gotta fucking die, asshole.
Reloading.
Ah, motherfucker. Alright, at his feet. Did he die? Yes, he did.
An explosion on Marina Drive in Sandy Shores.
Fuck you, Trevor. You stole the throne. Alright. Oh, shit! Alright, we're on a quest. Gonna find the rock that I was throwing all my weapons off of.
We have a visual. Moving to engage.
Woohoo! It was definitely up north. Whoa, shit. That must have hurt.
Suspect northbound on ATV.
Oof. Okay, so we're heading up north and we're gonna go to where Lumpy Bad had seen a head that matches in the mural. I was over there and noticed that on his video he was talking about how this rock over here resembles the brain inside a head that's facing to the right. So this area right here, this area in Lumpy Bad's video shows ahead an aerial view. You look at the map and it's looking over here. Okay, and this right here, this is a bridge where we find a web, a spider web underneath it at 1 o'clock. Another web is found at the base underneath the platform on this gondola. What's this thing? The cable car. And that little shack where the cable car reaches, there's a platform, and underneath the platform you can find a spider web at 1 o'clock. Over here you find another spider web that only appears at 1 o'clock underneath the bridge that's right here, right where those people are standing. Right there is where you'll find it. So I was up here and I was trying to throw weapons down on the ground. I think it was here on this rock, or it was down at the coast. And the reason why I was doing that is to see if any of these would trigger something. Because in the story mode, there's a rock that Arthur places the sword Excalibur inside this stone in which Merlin had forged the sword from. So I'm over here and I'm going to check this rock. I believe I came here and it was just like dropping weapons. There was no vehicle nearby though. Is this the rock that Lumpy Bad was looking at? It had like an S and an O. Or an SD. Hey, maybe it's the space docker that we're supposed to be using, not this, but you can't obtain the space docker from the bottom of a lake. So yeah, I came over here, was just like dropping weapons, standing on it. Maybe it was Trevor. Or maybe it's only on online and I was doing this search online. Wait. Oh yeah, that's right. Michael killed him. within the movie King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword, the film by Guy Ritchie. Oh, look at this. He's wearing bright yellow and blue. Oh, Chop, you're so cute.
Good, Chop. Good, Chop. Go home, Chop.
Within the movie, in the very beginning, elephants are used by the mages. Huge, giant elephants are used by mages, and they're ravaging Camelot and destroying all kinds of stuff. And it was similar to this, where they had the mage king Mordred was riding inside this pyramid on top of the elephants. Okay, and those elephants can be seen in Franklin's old house, in his aunt's decorative shit. You can see elephants. Oh, what's this? We got Crow X, Crown X, Crow X. Yeah, you know, it's the clocks. Chronos. But on that book, did you see it? I'm gonna show it to you again. It's the sword. Excalibur's right there. The sword. And look, time. Oh, there it is. Crow X, a history of time. History. Time. Crown, Excalibur, history, time. Crow X, crown, Excalibur, a history of time. Michael's ability is slowing down time so he can shoot. Pew, pew, pew. Hell, even Franklin can do that. But Franklin, being a mage, he controls the dogs. He talks to dogs and sees what they see. He controls Chop. See that similarity right there is pretty fucking. It's pretty vibrant. It stands out. You know? And there was also the theory that that all three characters are FBI agents, or FIB agents. And that's why they deal with Dave. Dave knows them all. He's in the FIB, and, you know, they're all part of the hierarchy. And the only people that they actually fight against are Merryweather and the police, which are from agents of Trevor's, the evil king. So, I mean, I'm not saying that I have it all figured out, but I'm saying I'm onto something. I'm onto something huge. And I'm seeing all the similarities unfold. The duality of this game. I see, said the blind man. As soon as I read that whole story and I have a full understanding
Chop, what you been eating?
of it,
I gotta get a regimen for you.
I'm gonna know. And I highly suggest if you guys have ever read the book of King Arthur, you're gonna know. You're gonna know how to play the story. It should be easy for you. And if you haven't read the story, at least watch the movie from Guy Ritchie, King Arthur, and it's out on DVD right now at Walmart. It's found in that cheap movie bin. It's where I got it. Go to Walmart, go pick up that DVD. You're not gonna be disappointed like most, most medieval movies are disappointing. This one is pretty badass. Guy Ritchie is one of the best filmmakers, right up there with Quentin Tarantino. With the cinematics of how they put movies together, it's pretty badass. It also, shows how Arthur had led a life of crime, pretty much. He was living on the streets, raised in a brothel. So that's why we see Michael not interested in prostitutes around the city, because he's like, it would be like fucking my sister, basically, So it's like he doesn't move that way. So you'd always see Michael putting down, politely refusing services from the hookers. So that, further solidifies the theory of Michael being Arthur, as well as, many different aspects of the game. Like, you just watch the movie and you're gonna know right away all the stuff that you've come across, that you see in this movie. It's really gonna open up your eyes as to how to play the game of GTA. So when you get that done, when you've fully mastered the understanding of how the story goes with King Arthur, you're going to be enlightened. You're going to see everything in a completely different way in this whole game. Everything's going to look different to you. And everything's going to be so clear as to what you need to do. So get down to the library, start reading some books, man. And I am going to figure out what I need to do in that meantime. Alright. Where's Michael? Oh yeah, he's at the movies.
I mean, who would have thunk it? Your dad's an artist.
Speaking of the movies,
That sounds great and all, but I gotta get back to the 21st century, okay? I'll see you later. Bye.
he's got to get back to the 21st century. Because Arthur's living in the past. I mean, Michael is living in Arthur's past. Oh, vehicle's this way. Okay, so we're gonna jump in our ride. I'm gonna go over to the Richard Majestic building. I think that's it right there. That's Richard Majestic. There's the crown. There is a crown. Michael takes over Richard Majestic in the story, so he obtains the crown. Alright, I think I've given you guys enough little clues here and there to assume what we need to do. And I believe that after having explained this, you guys are going to be able to look at the game in a completely different way. You're going to find so many similarities between Michael and Arthur, Franklin and Merlin, and Trevor and Mordred. Alrighty, so that's it. Sayonara. Till next time, go to the library.